Hello. Hello. Well, it's good to be back, and as you all know, this is Talk Shop. And I say, for now, when I ask you what time is it, the answer is, it's nation time, man. Thank you. It is nation time. It's time to build this nation. What time is it? It's nation time. All right. On this program, you know what we do here. We tell the truth and let the chips fall where they may. For this, today, I'm going to be starting a series of episodes on Talk Shop with the kind courtesy of my good friend, Reverend Lawrence Tete. Reverend Lawrence Tete, if you are listening wherever you are, if you are not listening, somebody will tell you. With your kind permission, I've seen your banners all over Accra, and I'm going to borrow the title that you use for the next few episodes of Talk Shop. Do you know the banner you use? This nonsense must stop. I love it. Folks, there's so much nonsense going on in Ghana, and I'm telling you from the bottom of my heart, trust me, this nonsense must stop. We're going to take a short commercial break. And the series of this nonsense must stop that we're going to be doing, I think the first one I'll touch on with is Agyapadie. That nonsense too must stop. But let's take a break. When we come back, Agyapadie, this nonsense must stop. We'll be right back.
Is it the luxurious rooms? Or the serene green surroundings? Is it the tempting swimming pool? Or the classy conference room? Or the cute gift shop? Maybe it's our chef's array of cooking delights. Whichever way, it's all about Cactus Creek. A most respected hotel. 055 039 5007.
Hi, my name is Angela Metal, a massage therapist at Cactus Creek. My job is simply to pamper you with the 3 R's, to relax you, to revitalize you, and to rejuvenate you. Come and let me pamper you.
055 039 5007.
Thank you very much, and we're back, and truth crushed to earth shall rise again. What time is it, folks? It's nation time. Today we're going to focus on this nation because there are silly things happening in this nation, and this series of episodes coming is this nonsense must stop. A series of nonsenses, pardon my English word, yeah, but can't brought about a series of nonsenses, but the first one we are starting with is this so-called Agyapadie. What the hell is it? Let me tell you something. This concept of Agyapadie, I'm going to give you a few reasons why I think it is brainless and what boggles my mind about this whole Agyapadie thing. Okay? Number one, what is Agyapadie? Apparently, what it is all about state capture. You've heard so much about it, so I'm not going to rehash all the plenty things you've heard. You've heard plenty things. But the summary of it is that Agyapadie is about state capture of certain institutions that will be controlled by the state na capture. One of the areas of state capture that we know of, number one, the judiciary, the courts of this land. The other thing that we know of in terms of state capture, the media. The media that's going to report on this land and all the things we need to know is also going to fall under state capture. So we have the judiciary, we have the media, and scary enough, folks, the military and security services. The concept of state capture is to make sure that you have a stranglehold on the armed forces, on the security services, immigration, police. You have a stranglehold on them. So when you combine all these major elements or institutions of state that fall under the capture of a government or a party, and even the state capture, no. The state capture you've heard talk about, the long and short of it is that to make sure that you control these agencies. Agyapadie, state capture. This, and I said before, is a brainless idea. It is preposterous. It is ludicrous. It is, I don't know what word to use, maybe idiotic? Let me tell you why. Okay, number one, if we talked about a state capture, in Ghana right now, we'll be out here about the Agyapadie, but nobody knows. It's all like, hey, I tell Agyapadie. But who knows Agyapadie? Who knows about what it is? Number one, the government says it doesn't know anything about Agyapadie. As a matter of fact, the president has actually spoken. And he says, in fact, some NDC elements who have consistently, from time immemorial, trying to badmouth him and his government, are continuing that long tradition of badmouthing. So the president says this whole Agyapadie talk, blah, this thing is being designed by some NDC people.
In the run-up to the 2008, 2012, and 2016 presidential elections, and Madam Sani, I'm not here to settle scores, I was the target of numerous false and malicious stories aimed at attacking my credibility and integrity. In 2008, baseless allegations of drug trafficking were spread, along with numerous rumors about my health intended to cast doubt on my ability to serve as president. President Kufuor was also accused in 2008 of having sold all of Ghana's gold reserves. Again, the 2012 election saw false reports of my alleged arrest in London for drug possession and fabricated quotes designed to stir ethnic tensions. In 2016, it was alleged by sympathizers of the opposition that I had killed my late wife. Today, with a few months to the December 2024 elections, they are at it again. A fabricated document entitled Agyapadie is being peddled around by operatives of the opposition as evidence of a grand scheme by my party to annex the assets of the state.
That is from the president. They have nothing to do with it. He has nothing to do with it. It's actually some few people in the NDC who are orchestrating all of this. Very surprising. But let's move on. I want you to understand what I mean by this whole thing is an amorphous, brainless thing that is happening. One thing, even my own chief, Mimi Ochini, Ochim Kwame Numbrim, I'm out here for opinion, and Motia is my chief. He is on the cover of this Agyapadie thing. I'm saying thing right now because as we speak now, dear, nobody knows what it is. You can't even identify where it came from. It is this phantom thing that is blowing all over. Our chief is on the cover of Agyapadie, and he says he has no idea about it. He says he heard about this thing long ago. It is a fabrication. It is false.
Yeah.
From 2016.
Yeah.
I'm not Dubai.
Yeah.
All the guys have been now.
Yeah.
I see my agenda.
Yeah.
I see my agenda.
Yeah.
Say, yeah,
Yeah.
I was in my master.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not going to be.
Yeah.
I got the Agyapadie. Yeah. All kinds of, yeah, possible.
Yeah.
Timothy, from two very, very powerful sources, the president said there's some NDC couples that are misbehaving, doing those silly things. Ochini says he has no idea about it, but in fact, this document started floating even some time ago, some years back, and things. This is my worry. With all respects, Nana, you have seen your honorable face on the cover of this so-called Agyapadie thing that you say is fake. You say it's fabricated. So that there's no substance to it. What baffles me, and pardon me if I'm exaggerating, but what baffles me is that I have not heard anything from you or from your office or from the palace. Charlie, the Motia has discovered that his face has been put on this document called Agyapadie. He has no clue where it came from. It is fake, it's a fabrication. Anka, I expected that though. I wanted to hear that kind of denouncement that your honorable face has been put on this document that you know nothing about. Now I haven't heard that vehement disassociation from it, that this thing is wrong, and then we are going to get to the bottom of those corporates who are behind this thing, because this has nothing to do with me. I didn't hear that. I'm sorry. Okay, so there's that. And even with the president's denial, I didn't hear that he's going to put the FBI or BNI or whatever to make sure that they get to the bottom of this, because this is bad. This is very, very bad. That's why I'm saying this whole Agyapadie has become an amorphous thing that you can't understand at all. Okay? The third thing that baffles me is this. Let me give the president the benefit of the doubt and say, yes, this is politics, because politics there, you can't rule out anything. No, you can't. Anything is possible in politics, especially under now that we have AI, artificial intelligence. You'll be amazed at what people can sit down and craft with artificial intelligence, put your voice on, put your face on, and do things that will completely destroy you, that you have no clue about that. So I understand. So I'm willing to give the president, Nana Amotia, the benefit of the doubt. Maybe there are some corporates who are doing this, trying to badmouth you. Okay, fine. Let's accept that. But when you think about it, folks, something doesn't quite make sense as well. Let me give them the benefit of the doubt and let's say, yes, in fact, this thing is being done by some NDC people. But watch the implementation. Every step of the implementation is something that is an additional benefit to the NPP. So, Pacho, help me think about this. So, you have a bunch of frustrated clowns from the NDC trying to frustrate the NPP. So they set in motion a series of events which happen to be doing things that are favorable to the NPP. And yes, or perhaps, Ghana, we have been doing everything trying to get into the Guinness Book of World Records or whatever they call it. Maybe we want to get into the Guinness Book of Records as the only country with the most amazing bipartisan collaboration. And it's an amazing bipartisan collaboration that the NDC would decide to go and do something to damage the MPP. So they take on this act and do things, but they're not damaging the MPP. They are doing things that will actually enhance the agenda of the MPP. Maybe a bipartisan collaboration, I'm not sure. The bottom line is this. There are certain things going on, and I'm looking you in the face today, folks. I'm begging you, this nonsense must stop. First of all, let me take just a quick minute to tell you why I am saying this nonsense must stop. Okay, two things. State capture means two things. It can mean that the government in power has captured all these state institutions. The government has the military, they have the judiciary, they have the legislature, they have the media. They have captured all these institutions. If there's any government in power which is able to capture these institutions, do you know what happens? On the surface, it looks like it's a democratic government. But underneath it, a government that has captured all state institutions is nothing else but a dictatorship, an autocracy of the highest order. So either way you look at it, if you say that it's a state capture being done by the government in power, what it means is that eventually they are setting up a dictatorship, an autocracy. Abaya, the judiciary is under them, the security is under them, the media is under them. Folks, this is nothing less than autocracy of the highest order. Okay, let's say it's not the government. Say Abaya, say Bianyonwa. So let us assume that maybe, perhaps, it's the opposition. So imagine a state where those in the opposition are the ones that have access to all these state institutions. They are not in government too, but they have access to the control of all these institutions. Do you know what happens? It's called anarchy. Because in a state like that, the nation becomes ungovernable. So two things I'm making. Let me wrap up on these two things I'm talking about. Number one, if there's any government in power that has captured all the state institutions, trust me, that government is a dictatorship. It's an autocracy. It is deadly. On the other hand, if it's not the government in power, but somehow the opposition is the one that has been able to capture all these institutions and is controlling them, then trust me, the government is in trouble because the nation is ungovernable. So folks, so much in the mechanism. Either way you look at it, if, as people are saying now, it is the MPP making an attempt at capturing the state, that's what they are saying. On radio, on TV, everywhere. That's what they are saying. I won't mention any names. You know them. That's what is out there. If it is true that in fact is the MPP behind the state capture, if they should win and if is saying break the 8 and become the next government, which is coming with all state institutions captured by them, trust me, we're looking at autocracy and dictatorship of the highest order. On the other hand, as you see, if the NPP is not able to come back to power and they are in opposition, however, even in opposition, they've been able to capture all these state institutions in the sense that they are thumb. Then whoever's in power is looking at a situation that we call ungovernable. So that is why I'm saying this nonsense must stop. There's no winning anywhere. Either way you look at it, say, and all this, oh my goodness. A young guy I was talking to, a young guy cry, make us say me, practically a grandchild. What are you calling it? I say a Japan concert party. That's all he's heard about the Japan. He was calling it the Japan concert party, and I thought it was so instructive because that's what it is. It's a concert party. Either way, no one wins. So please, Ghana for Bepamocho. This thing that we are like, it's very, very, if that's our word saying, it's something that is, not say really state capture. We talk about state captures if you are talking about Gogbe. Not say really say, no! Let me tell you why I'm saying this. Because folks, believe it or not, I'm a prophet. I'm not a man of God. I'm not nothing. But I'm looking at your face today, and I'm telling you today. If we all sit down as a nation and allow any kind of state capture to fruition, we are dead. Let me tell you, we have an election coming up. I think it's in December. So January 7th, the new government is taking over. If at that time, and I hope to God not, because it will never happen, that Ghanaians will sit down and allow anybody to capture the state, even if they have started in Kudubebia, trust me. Because if that happens, folks, if in fact January 7th after the election and whoever is in power and the country is under state capture, trust me and mark this on the wall anywhere you want it, quote this date that KSM said that if by January 7th a new government has come in and we are under state capture, either the government or the opposition, but the bottom line is that we have come in and we are under state capture. Trust me, within 6 months, could be shorter, but it won't be more than 6 months of the new government coming to power, we are going to experience an explosion of violence, eruption in this country that we have never witnessed before. Munkaseme Jimmy. Whatever you want to say it. But after you finish saying it, mark this date that you're watching this program on the wall. And trust me that if by January 7th we have gone through with our elections and everything, and the state is under state capture, either by the government in power or not in power, in a position, but still has a state, I am telling you, we are going to experience an eruption the likes of which we have never experienced before in this country. I kid you not. And don't joke with it. I have just about a few minutes to finish what I'm saying here. Young widow. Look, some of you are young guys. You know, the people that I work with, my cameraman, crew, or probably not even born. But those of us who have witnessed that kind of eruption know, and we beg you, that whatever we can do to avoid that catastrophe, let us avoid it. Because marking on the wall, if this state capture, if it continues and if it succeeds, by January 7th, the new government is power. Trust me, within 6 months, the eruption that we'll see in this country, we have not seen anything, the likes of it, in this country. Master, it's not a joke. Those of you who are young and or maybe not born, let me give you just a little bit about this, just a few minutes to share with you. When there's inbuilt anger, which there is in Ghana right now, there's a lot of anger, there's a lot of frustration, there is a lot of despair. This is not a political statement, this is just a statement of fact. That there is anger, there's frustration, there's despair, and people are hoping for a brighter day. But I'm saying the only thing that can get in the way of a brighter day is the notion that this country is now under a certain state capture. And at that time, what we'll experience, nothing like the likes of what we have seen before. The closest we've seen was the JJ Revolution in 79, those of us who are alive. Let me tell you just a little bit of some of the things that happened. One day it was on the news. One kite, it probably doesn't even exist anymore, but once upon a time there used to be what they call the Teshi military range. If you're going to Teshi and they're traveling by the beach side, when you're getting towards the, I think it's the Kofi Annan training piece, something center, to the right, there's the beach. All of that side was a shooting range near Freho firing squad. So imagine, we are going to sleep in the evening. We hear in the news that tomorrow morning we are lining up soldiers at the Teshi military range to kill them. Those of you who want to come and see it, come. As if it's an upcoming movie. I'm sorry I'm laughing, but I want you to see how scary it is. It's an upcoming movie. We're going to line up military officers and shoot them. This happened in 1979. Some of you were not born. Some of you were born but were kids. Some of us were born but were adults enough to be foolish enough to go and watch this upcoming attraction. Folks, and I'm telling you, 8 military officers, blindfolded, tied to the stakes, with a whole platoon of people standing there watching. And what we heard was fire, 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 and they were shot. And people were standing there, and most of the people who are in power now were alive then, so they know. They know. Not those in power, those who are not in power, who are my age group. We know. Fire, fire, fire. And folks, we shot 8 military officers. Close quarters, firing squad. Let me tell you one sad thing. When I talk about this eruption and why that always leads to chaos, because you can't plan that eruption. Some of the military officers that were killed had not committed any crime. You'll be shocked too. Some of them were lined up and killed. Do you know why? they needed to maintain ethnic balance. They're shooting one from person where you're Santini, you're shooting about Kumbi or Yankani, you're shooting. So, ever be a mechanic. I'm telling you. And for those of you, may he rest in peace. Utuka. You know Utuka? He lost his life at the military shooting range, not because of any crime he committed. He was there. And they needed to balance it, ethnic balance. So folks, as I was saying, it was an advertised movie. People went there to watch people being killed. And the funny thing is that they had placards, and the placards said, "Let the blood flow." That's the anger in people. Let the blood flow. They had placards. Now the dangerous thing, you know, this thing was done. I'm talking about the June 4th. You know, was a bunch of military men. They were called the other ranks, the junior forces that rose up. But the anger that is seeping in Ghana now is not like the junior ranks or anything. Or it's the average man on the street, frustrated and looking for a way out. And I'm telling you folks, this is not good. This is the kind of eruption that desperation, anger, frustration causes. So when I'm sitting here saying this to all of us Ghanaians, that whatever we do, you and I should make sure that we do not sit down and get anything in motion called state capture. I'm telling you this because I know that when there is in fact a state capture, within 6 months of the new administration, the eruption, it will make June 4th look like June 4th credits and a watch party. It will make June 4th look like a watch party. I kid you not. So I say today, Reverend Lawrence said, let me borrow words, this nonsense of state capture must stop. Shall I say it one more time? This nonsense must stop. So let me say it again, and folks, pardon me, let me take my glasses off for this one. Let me say it again. Eyeball to eyeball, folks. This nonsense must stop. Me Negro, you know, it's like you have a choice. Okay? You're going into an election and there is a choice. There's a path that you can take to prosperity and rebuilding our country and lifting this country up. And there's a path that we can take, and we know that this is going to lead to anarchy and chaos. And then we sit down quietly and say, so, and yes, let us try the anarchy and chaos. That's how it feels like to me. Let us not joke with this, please. Sometimes, actually, what kind of people are Ghanaians? Can you imagine any other African country or any other third world country where there's that the government wants to take over the capture the state so that they can use the state apparatus to rule? People are saying this and everybody's going about nicely getting money. I could talk watch Eddie, I could talk go, but everything is cool. Can you imagine? Only in Ghana. But I'm telling you, even in Ghana, don't take it lightly. I remember one time I did the show, we don't seem to be worried, or it's not visibly coming out as worried. Somebody called me and he said something I will never ever forget. Let me share with you what the person told me. I said, KSM, all these things that we're hearing about, state capture, all these scary things, that it seems that Ghanaians have taken it cool, and you people think say Ubiaye cool. No. He says, do you know what the silence means? We say, no, tell me. Or say, Ghanaians are telling us to listen to what we are not saying. I mean, American focus. God damn it, that's deep. Ghanaians are telling us, you say we are quiet. No, listen to what we are not saying. Deep. Think about it. Folks, don't take the state capture of the media as a joke, man. When the media is in the grips of a dictator, whenever the media is in the grips of a dictator, and to top that up, so is the judiciary. When the media and the judiciary collapse because they have been captured by the state and they are under the grips of a dictator, what happens is called anarchy. I kid you not, because our last resort as a people is the law. Our last resort as the people is to have a media that is out there defending us. We've been media saying for the people. The media is out there for us. If the media is not there, the judiciary is there to back us. When the media and the judiciary are collapsed under state capture, what happens is people just actually let us take the law into our own hands. What follows is chaos and anarchy. This is not good, folks. This nonsense must stop. I'm going to wrap up now because this has started. This is called This Nonsense Must Stop. Actually, my next edition, my next episode, that is free advice going to all Achimfo. I have some free advice. And the title of that show is, What Do We Do with JB Dankwa? You can't miss this show. And trust me, you don't even have to be an Achim person to want to listen to this show that I'm going to be doing. I can't JB Dankwa. Yeah, Achim for JB, whatever. I'm saying that the title of my next show is, What Do We Do with JB Dankwa? I have some amazing free advice. But before then, let me tell you, please, I beg you, this nonsense must stop. So until we meet again to talk about this nation, I ask you again, what time is it? And I get your response, KSM, it's nation time. Very soon I'm going to be giving you out some beautiful t-shirts called Nation Time. But until then, truth crushed to earth shall rise again. So until we come your way again with my next episode, what do we do with JB Dankwa? Folks, stick around. There's more to come. In the meantime, this nonsense must stop.